Audience, hello and welcome everyone to this YouTube session. Today we have Armstrong Pame sir. He's called as the Crusader, People's Crusader in northeastern India. We have heard about Manjhi from Bihar. So today we have Manjhi, the miracle man from northeast India. Sir has been allocated to Manipur cadre way back in 2009 when he was selected as an IAS officer. Sir had geography and public administration as his optional subjects. And about his latest achievements, he's recently in the month of March, he's been awarded with the prestigious Best Civil Services Award of India. So again, this was the second time when this happened. Back in 2015, he got the same award. So over to you, sir. Students are waiting for you to motivate them in their journey towards civil services examination.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jenny and your wife, for inviting me over. I am given about an hour, so I will take about 45 minutes to talk. Is that too long? So if it is too long, please raise your hand, and maybe some 10-15 minutes for all of you to ask if there is anything. First of all, let me admit, don't ask me anything about how to prepare for geography, public administration, general studies, because the time I wrote my exam was way back in 6, 7, and 8. I wrote the exam 3 times in my second attempt. First attempt, I did not make it to the mains. Second attempt, I made it to the IRS. Third attempt, I made it to the IS. At that time, the pattern were all different. We had 2 optionals. We did not have CSAT papers. We did not have, I don't remember, we had English qualifying essence. So the pattern have all changed. So if you feel that I am here to tell you about how to prepare for all of this subject, sorry, this will be your first disappointment. However, the little bit of why I thought I should speak to young people like all of you, when Jatin invited me, like whenever I go to give talks, be it in IIMs, IITs, TEDx talks, and all of these forums, irrespective of whatever you become in life, I thought the little bit of my journey will help you want to do better, will help you want to study a little harder. If you're already studying 5 hours, after listening to me, you may like to put in 1 extra hour. That has always been my motives. And for those of you who feels that I know, this talk is not free. You know that, right? I charge a fee. Whoever listens to me, they have to pay $100. Okay? Of course, in corporate talks, that's different level. I charge money, 100 rupees, for 2 reasons. Number 1, as I talk about what I am doing, I want you to participate practically. Each of you are contributing at least 100 rupees for the fees of children studying in villages. The second point is, if you feel that my speech is so boring, I want to make sure that you're not wasting your time listening to my talk. I want to make sure that at least you are doing something for this 1 hour, because you will be helping the children back home in some remote villages. Purpose cleared, right? Okay, so the last 13 and a half, almost 14 years back, the journey, I thought it's worth sharing, not because I have been given this, that award, nominated for Indian of the Year, becoming a young global leaders. You know what is young global leader? You know what is the World Economic Forum? If you've been preparing for UPSC, you should be knowing what is World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum, they select about 100 young people at below the age of 40 every year. That includes the likes of, so many, popular people you may be knowing. So I became a young global leader in 2018, not because I achieved this and that, but because I thought by sharing this with all of you, and when you become someone in life, it doesn't matter whether you are successful in this exam or not, you can carry these principles along. And why I thought sharing this journey is important, because every year I go to Mussoorie twice. First, to talk to all the foundation batch, the foundation course, whoever clears the exam, I go and give a talk. Second is to the phase 1 people of the IS. I go too often that, sometimes 3 times. I go and speak to the phase 2 people. I got so tired sometimes that, so the road is quite winding from Dehradun to Mussoorie. So, of course, with the coming of pandemic, I've stopped going there. Even then, I was asked to give 1 or 2 online lectures. The experience was so cool. Whenever I go there and after the talk, people will just come, run to me and say, "Sir, we took your name, we took the work that you did in our ethics paper. We wrote about you." I don't know what is this ethics paper, because it was not there in my time. I don't know how would they have written my example. So it let me conclude that they have made it to the IS and they could mention my name. That means they must have got some good marks to make it to the IS. I felt good. Okay, someone taking my example and meeting me in Mussoorie, doing foundation course, doing phase 1. So I felt a good vibes. Okay, maybe I must have done something good to encourage these young folks, taking my name, writing in the paper, and making it to the IS and IPS. So it gives me a good vibes. So I'm sure, I don't know if question related to anything that I have done in the past, even now, I don't know if it will be worth writing in your papers, and when your time comes to write mains exam, it takes paper. So maybe a live interaction with all of you may give you a clearer picture, if at all you have to mention my name. Is the purpose served? Okay, so I still call myself a village boy, not a miracle man. I started for So I started my journey as a simple village boy from a very backward, I don't want to say backward, maybe underdeveloped or a little less developed place. But that doesn't really matter. Why I thought I should take you through this is, this was my first posting, one of the first posting. You know what is this? Huh? It's a leech. So this was when I was an SDM in my Tausiam subdivision of Tamenglong district. This was one of my first postings as an SDM. So why I thought I should show you this is to tell you that I actually really had given my best. I've walked through every village. If the vehicle can take me, well and good. Even if there's no road, I walk that much. Why I thought I should share with you this is, you may be from Bihar, Delhi, Punjab, Karnataka, it doesn't really matter. Okay? I am from Northeast, from Manipur. From Manipur, my district headquarters is the farthest from Imphal, the state capital. And from my district headquarters, The least undeveloped is Tausem subdivision. And the farthest in the Tausem subdivision is my village towards Nagaland boundary. Your background really doesn't actually matter what you become. That much I know. I've come up from a family which is not well to do. My dad was mayor school teacher. I don't want to say mayor, but a primary school teacher. He just could barely finish his 8th class, not because he's weak in studies, but because he lost his parents when he was 8 years old. My mom never went to any school. So it doesn't really matter your background. So if you feel, any one of you sitting that, if you are not from a privileged family, or if you're not from a well-developed state, of course, in India's context, you have less chance? No, that's not true. If a village boy like me can be where I am today, for me, every day is an achievement. If I can come up from that stage to where I am, I believe all of you can equally become or even greater heights than any one of us have achieved. So please don't think that your background is a handicap towards becoming what you want to in life. That's the first thing. Now, I am someone, after I joined the service, I don't want to leave things for tomorrow. I want to give my best, living life as if today is the end of the world. Can you spot me here? I think this was somewhere in February of 2021 or 20, I don't remember exactly. I was touring one of the last villages of my district as a DM. So I came across this. So the villagers told me that this is their school. The kids come here and, attend. I was feeling really, really upset. The government did not have immediately fund to construct it because, in the government processes for getting the school proposed, getting it sanctioned takes a long time. And believe me, the resources are very different. The availability of resources is very, very different in different states' perspective. If you're from Karnataka, if you're from Maharashtra, you will have a lot of resources. State government has sufficient resources. So likewise, DM will have lots of funds. Anyone from Jharkhand? Orissa? So DMs will have resources with them, because mineral royalty funds, this and that. However, in a resource crunch state like Manipur and Nagaland, DM does not have much fun with them. So I looked at it and I was quite upset. So probationer of 2019 batch was touring with me. So we already had walked past this village about 3 kilometers, but there was something telling my mind that, Armstrong, you've got to do something about it. So what I did was I took him, don't say this to anyone. So I took him, all my other teammates left. So we both ran back to the village. We burned it down. It was quite shameful to say that this is a village school. So say we'll burn it down. So we burned it down. Okay. So after 2 months, we decided to construct this. We sent all the materials required. We both contributed. As a DM, yes, I had some, maybe 50,000, 1 lakh rupees. We did this, we sent it. The materials, we let the villagers construct it. At least the kids are having some shelter over their, head. Is that good? If I were to just wait for the government to accept the proposal, send it to Delhi for acceptance of the proposal, make DPR. The children who are supposed to be learning here right now, their age will not wait, right? The entire process would have taken them 3 years. So now in 3 months they have this. I'm happy. At least it may not be such a great building, but something is happening. So why I thought I should tell you this example, this is a small example. I will take you to another bigger example is this. Not this. Where are some of the photographs of the road? Okay. You want to hear something about the People's Road? Okay. Please don't compare me to Manji and all. I mean, I'm a small guy, you know, who happens to be in the right place at the right time. It's like this. So you saw me walking on those roads, going from one village to the other. In 2012, May, I got posted as an SDM of my subdivision. So, since the road was never repaired, no one actually cared. The last time the road was ever repaired was before I was born, way back in 1980. So, no one actually cared because they felt that it's impossible to do it. So I also had to walk those, roads from one village to the other. In fact, I did not want to make any presentation because you must be tired of PPTs. Basically, so we had to hurry up things. So just for your visualization, we put, is there any photographs where on a, I think it is surely there in the pen drive, but maybe, yeah. Maybe we just missed that. It must be there in the pen drive. So I used to walk from one village to the other. Then we call a general assembly meeting of 4 or 5 villages together. So I asked them, what should we do together? So we said, everyone was, with one voice, he said, let us do roads. So one old man stood up and said, you're an IS officer. We are villagers. We have so much hope in you, but you also came walking. We've been walking our whole life. So let's do this road. And I told them, there is no resources. To do this road would cost us crores of money. And the same old man said, you're an IS officer. You're supposed to know the source of, money. For them, SDM or DM is like at the village level. They don't know who is chief secretary. They don't know who is the secretary. For them, actually, they don't care. What they care is who is in front of them, representing the government. And if you are a district magistrate, being there means a lot. If you are an SDM, being there with them means a lot. So they said you have to find a way. So I stood up and asked them, what should we probably do? If they say repair the road from the district headquarters to our subdivisional headquarters, which is about 67 kilometers. From our subdivisional headquarters, there is a highway coming from Nagaland and going to Assam. There is no road there. You just have to connect it by another 30-35 kilometers. Then we'll be linked to the train station and the national highway. Why don't we do it? So this old man, 92-year-old, stood up and said, I'm going to contribute my 5 months salary. So I was wondering, what is this 5 months salary? So it totals to 1,000 rupees because he gets an old age pension of 200 rupees. So I thought, wow, this is, an old man, 92 years old, who probably could die anytime, still willing to sacrifice his old age pension of 5 months for the sake of this prosperity for his place. So I said, okay, I also have some savings. I was in the revenue service, so let me also contribute. I went back home, did Excel calculation. I'm an optimistic guy. Okay, I had 2,000 friends on Facebook. I calculated this way to make myself positive. If 1,000 friends of mine contributes 1,000 bucks each, it still comes to 10 lakhs. Say if 500 people contribute, it still comes to 5 lakhs. So maybe it's good to start. So that's how we started. Then once we started this, some women society would stand up and say, we're gonna give 5,000 rupees from our self-help group savings. One widow stood up and said, I'm gonna supply firewoods to people who will be working on the roadside, the river, do fishing. I'll sell fish. I'll make sure that you guys get some money for this road construction. So that is how it all started. The rest is history. Then, of course, Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg took notice of it, because that time Facebook was just becoming popular. People were making use of Facebook in an abusive way also. So they wanted me to come and talk to the world that, you can use channel of Facebook for a positive cause. Of course, I could not go there because time was too short. So then, Times of India carried this story. Then so many people started calling up. We opened up a channel of communication whereby people can donate if they wanted to. See, one thing was very clear. We never backed anyone. Whether you contribute or not, the road is going to be done because people are willing to do it. One gentleman from US called up and said, my elder brother Jeremiah, he stays in Delhi, assistant professor of English here. So he called up and said, Jeremiah, I have not heard such a great story from India for so many years now. For the last 25 years, I've not been back home. Especially if you remember 2011-12, what type of scams were there? 2G scam, call scam, you name it. Quite a lot of scam was happening, So once this story of an IS officer coming together, bringing together people from his area to construct a road which is like, about 100 kilometers, then people took it as a positive story. Then it became a big news. People started contributing. And then we make sure that whoever contributes, we wrote a story about them, saying like few armies, say I was posted in Northeast. I really love the place. I really like the people. I'm looking for a way to contribute. I'm going to send you 10,000 bucks. So we use the church account and all of those. And that's how it actually happened. The road became a success. It was just a brick and a mortar road. Now, when I came back as a DM, I wanted to convert this to a national highway. Then the country was going through this, COVID. Every money was being poured, budget was being cut, diverted towards health sector. So now, to declare a new national highway, it's a little difficult. You know the difference between greenfield project and brownfield? So for quite some years now, this government has not declared any greenfield national highway. This will be one of the general studies maybe. One of the newest national highway in the country is 137. So this is a complete greenfield project. Land acquisition cost is so much. Another general studies for you is from 2014 April till 2018 March, 4 financial years. The Ministry of Road and Transport Highway had spent about 1.2 lakh crores from its budget. But 2/3, that is about 80,000 crore, is utilized for land acquisition. Only 40,000 crore is for actual road construction. That means most of the money is going into land acquisition. So when I went to and requested to make this as a national highway, land acquisition became an issue. And Land Acquisition Act is such a big headache. It takes a lot of times. So he said, no, People with the higher up saying no. We don't have so much, and land acquisition is such a long process. We don't have money for land acquisition, this and that. You know what I did? I challenged them. If we give everything for free, will you still do the road? And look up and say, it's not possible. Give me some time. So I went back home. Over a course of negotiation, after 5 months, I used that COVID time to do all this negotiation. People agreed for zero compensation to forfeit about 400 crores worth compensation. Villagers. Of course, I used lots of negotiation techniques learned from Oxford, Harvard, and whatever. I showed them that giving up your land now, it's not gonna make it loss. In the next few years, you're gonna reap what you just gave, or even 100 times more. People came back saying, yes, we agree. And that's how the road is happening now. That's why you see all of this machine, about 300 machines working at a stretch of about 100 kilometers in Manipur sector. And that's why it is the people's road again. People gave up. And this is the, as much as I can see, this must be the only national highway in the entire country done on zero compensation basis. Right. I don't want to be taking credit for it. It's the people who decide to give up even their house if the house is to be removed. Trees and crops, even if it comes, for the sake of this national highway. So the road is going now. Of course, there are problems here and there, now and then, but we try to deal with them every single day. That's how it is happening. So this is the story of the road. Now, moving forward, I try to see opportunities in whatever circumstances that I am given. So, wherever I go, I see Northeast people. Let me be a little narrow-minded. You see them serving in restaurants and bars and, this and that. So I was thinking, we are good in English. We got a good English education. We are not that bad looking, though we may not look like any one of you. So I was thinking, what is so difficult in making our people so skilled that people look around for us in a high skilled job? So I decided to explore an opportunity whereby I can train young people from my place to become a program coder. Programming. So I got in touch with one organization called Nav Gurukul, who gets funding from Google, Microsoft, Accenture, and others, and runs an entirely free course to teach these children Python, C++, Java, and others. I visited their campus in Bangalore. This was me. I have lots of pictures though. Yeah. Then I interacted with people who were already there. So this girl is from Jharkhand. I think these two are from Delhi. No, this lady is from Jharkhand. So now, what surprises me was these are all class 12 failed people. They have just been brought together. They have this mentor-mentee systems. They are teaching each other. After they were just there in the campus for about 6 months, and I asked them actually if they know program coding, and they took out their laptops to show me that they are actually very, very good. So I went back home, recruited about 30 of them, 30 boys and 30 girls, sent them to Bangalore, Now they have finished 6 months course, and I'm happy to tell you that 4 of them got through Accenture. To work as a program coder in Accenture. How is that? Imagine a situation where class 12 failed girls will end up being a program coder, app developer in some big firms. I want to convert Manipur as a Silicon Valley of the East. With that in mind, we started this. This is going great. And since this program has a limited seat capacity, we also got in touch with ITL. So ITL, ITL is now doing a program called TechB. They just introduced, we invited them to Manipur. For 500 people, they have now done the recruitment. This will enable the class 12 pass students to go through 6 months online course, 6 months internship. During internship, they get paid $10,000 each. After they finish 1 year, they become an employee of ITL. So this program is going on. The target is to produce at least 10,000 youths from my state to be IT enabled so that our people can be everywhere. Not only in India, but even in Southeast Asia countries, minus Singapore. Because Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, even Thailand, people in Manipur, even today, they are doing projects for some of these states. So I want to take advantage of that. So why I'm giving you this example is, you try to see opportunities in every single situation that you are given. Now, let me forget all of this example. This will go on and on. What I want to tell you is this. I still have how many minutes? 20? 10? It's okay. Okay. You have, because I'm really concerned with the time, because if you have another class, I don't want to take it into your class timing, and of course your lunch. So, as you prepare for this exam, first, you have decided to become, you want to be in the civil service, right? That's why you're here. Or you don't want to stay with your parents, that's why your parents decided to send you here. That's another thing. This, I thought, it's converting things when you see no solutions into opportunities. Every year we celebrate Amur Falcon's festival. Amur Falcon is a bird that comes from Siberia, lands in South Africa after traveling 6 months, then comes to Manipur and Nagaland, stays there for about 2 months, goes back to South Africa, does this rotation. We have actually tracked their movement through GPS. We fitted GPS in 1 or 2 of the birds. So the birds are still alive. So why I showed you this was, so when the COVID struck in 2020, we were not able to celebrate. So my DFO was saying, sir, we will distribute, we will namesake, we will just organize a small program and distribute some this and that. I said, no, don't utilize the money. Let us construct this house using traditional whatever style with that money. So we just spent about 5-6 lakhs. No festivals. So this is for all the Amur Falcon festival that we celebrated, we never had anything physically constructed. So in a year that we did not construct because we did not celebrate because of the COVID, this is the physical structure that remains. We constructed this. It's quite cool, right? So we made use of all the bamboos, treated bamboos, and this is a village where lots of people come to see, Amur Falcons, do camping there, this and that. We did not have any physical infrastructure. We created it only in the year where we did not celebrate. This will last forever. For a good number of years. So, when you decide to become an IS officer, let me tell you first few things. You are in the wrong you will be entering in a wrong profession called the civil service if you still have desires, to ride in BMW or Audi, Mercedes Benz. You can buy second hand. In fact, I was going through the list of vehicles because now I need a vehicle. I mean, Audi second hand is being sold for less than 10 lakhs. However, if you take a ride on it, even if it is second hand, enforcement directorate may come to your door next day. Telling you the fact. So you have to give up certain things in life if you want to be in civil service. Forget about riding on those top brand cars. Even if you're from rich families, even if your parents buy for you, after becoming an IAS, if you still ride on that, you will be in trouble. You'll be in trouble. That too for sure. Because actually no one cares how rich your parents were. If you had become an IAS officer, no one will think that you are, of course, that's another height. Suppose if Mukesh Ambani's son or Gautam Adani's son become an IAS tomorrow, that's another extreme, right? Let us forget about that. However, if you are comfortably, say, from a rich family, after 6 months or 1 year down the line, if you start riding on BMW or Audi, whether second hand or first hand, I don't care. But people will still look at you. So you have to give up this dream. Number 2, the luxurious lifestyles of buying farmhouses, owning hotels, real estates, this and that. You got to give up some of your, okay, who doesn't want all of this, right? We are human beings. I want it. I'm sure you also want it. But you have to make compromises in life if you choose to become a civil servant. Because people look up to you and you don't want to get in trouble after getting into the service. So, few compromises you have to be willing to trade off. Now, when I say trade off, the advantages that we get, I'm well paid. I'm happy. The government pays me pretty well. So, in fact, this January, I got my, senior level 30 jump. The salary jump was quite significant. So to celebrate that, I've never traveled in business class. So when I was coming back after my course from Harvard, I decided, of course, it was equally my mistake. Willingness to travel in business class, I was checking the tickets 2 months prior. I said it was coming to, for both ways, it was coming to 2,80,000. 2,50,000 something. Economy class was just 40,000. I was thinking, should I do or not? Should I do or not? I never did it. So this 2 weeks prior, actually, since I had to travel, I had to do it. So finally, Armstrong, whatever it is, you have to travel in business class this time, at least as a reward. So both ways, it was going up to 4,50,000. I couldn't do it. At least the return, I paid 2 lakhs to do it. So I celebrated myself. Why I mean to say this is, you are not deprived to such an extent that you have to back on the street. No, government takes good care of you. Yes, I have my friends who pass out from Stephens, earning 15 lakhs a month. Their annual pay package is what? In the US, I just met a friend of mine, Prachir Gupta, working with Amazon and left the job and now doing MBA in Harvard, just completing this summer. He was making about 500,000 US dollar a year 2 years back. Those people are different level. You stop comparing yourself with those people who are earning more than you. The government gives you quarter wherever you go. Say, I've just been allocated a quarter in Shahjahan Road. However rich my friends are, they cannot get a quarter in that area, right? Because it's not given for rent. It's not out for sale. So I get to live there. In state, it's no different story. You are given vehicle, you are given good quarter. Good quarters in the sense not those villas, right? But pretty comfortable. Given a try. So I mean to say you are taken quite well. Your remuneration is not too bad, even in the God. When I say trade-off, stop comparing yourself with those standards. However, look at your comfortable position in life and learn to be self-sufficient and suffice for yourself. The biggest trade-off being in the civil service is this. You don't live life for yourself, right? You want to do something in life for the people around you. That's why you choose to be in the civil service. Or any one of you here is writing this civil service just because you want to make a living for yourself? Or just because you can't? Absolutely, just because you have no other choices. I don't think that's your aim. You want to create some positive impact in the life of the people around you, not only for your family. The civil service gives you an opportunity to do that. That too in a very big scale. Every year, I send about 20 girls for nursing in one of the finest nursing courses in the country under Dr. Devi Shetty in Narayana Rudalaya. How many of you are from Karnataka? Anyone? You must be knowing Dr. Devi Shetty? Huh? Anyway, I'm sure all of you knows, right? Dr. Devi Shetty, if you don't know, you should brush up your general studies. One of the first surgeon in the country to operate on a 10-day-old baby. Heart surgeon. And he's a doctor who has conducted maximum heart surgery on children. So he gives 50% concession for those students whom I send. And I've already sent 60 girls. 23 had passed out, another 40 are still studying. So I give hopes through my work to people who otherwise would have never seen life. I'll just give you an example of one girl whom I just sent last year. Last year. So in 2013, I visited this one village called Jumpo. Okay, one of the last village in the boundary of Assam. So there was this one little, I went with my friend who is from the revenue service to that village, and he's not from my community. So the girl who came and served tea, she was speaking in a good English to my friend. So I asked her, wow, you speak pretty good English. Where did you study? Mm-hmm. Then she said, sir, I came back from Nagaland. I was staying with some families. At the same time, I was about to give my metric exam. But in 2011, my dad passed away because of a snake bite. And in 2012, my mom died because of malaria. So I have 6 other siblings to take care of. So I have to come back being the eldest. I'm so touched. I said, what should I do? I could not give them an immediate solution. So after going back, I thought I have to find them some way. So I took 2 of the girls, sent them to a residential school, KGBB, Kasturba Gandhi. You have this residential girls' schools. 2 of them, the 2 brothers, I brought them to my district headquarters to study. We let them put them in one of the hostels. The youngest one was just barely 3 years old. So we let the eldest sister take care of her. The eldest sister, I appointed her as a head cook in that school where the two sisters are studying. Now, the girl whom I sent for nursing she just finished her class 12 in 2020. So now she's studying there. Very confident now. Imagine the entire family lives is changed. Civil service gives you that opportunity. You have so much more thing that you can do being in the civil service. People may talk this and that about civil service, okay? I was looking at the video of, I hope this will not be quoted outside, of lots of people trying to abuse civil service. I used to wonder, had they never dreamt of writing civil service? The possibility is that they might have written the exam, did not get through. I was just going through the video of what happens in Bihar High Court. About the dressing stands and this and that. So people may talk this and that about civil service. But one thing I can assure you is this. This, maybe for the next 50 years or so, as long as India becomes superpower, okay, the role of civil servants will remain. And I can guarantee you that no other service, of course, if you're like Bill Gates, that's another thing. No other service is comparable to the service that we can deliver. You can be in the police, you can be in the IS, you can be in the revenue service, you can do a lot of changes. You think our country would have done that we have so far achieved during COVID had it not been for us, for civil servants? Look at US. I had friends working as doctors and nurses in New York. We used to do video call. She used to show me around. See, Armstrong, we just had 6 bodies here. I'm going to show you beds because we can't take care of this. These people will die in another half. That's in New York. For every 1,000 people, they have about 16 doctors or medical personnel. In India, for every 16,000 people, we just have 1 medical personnel. And we did very well. Had it not been for the civil servants, let me also take pride in the fact that I was a DM of my district. We had to take care of so many things. The immense amount of pressure that we get during COVID times. I'll just give you briefly the examples that we had to take up, the work. Once the lockdown started, okay, we had to make sure that no humans goes out of their house, including animals, dogs especially. That the lockdown should be so strict. Number 2, whenever people felt sick because of the limited health facilities, we had to arrange for transportation. The vehicle is not AI driven, so we had to find human being to carry another sick people to Imphal. We have to make sure that the driver agrees to drive down. Once it goes down to Imphal, we have to make sure that the hospital beds are available. Now, when this people started coming from outside city, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, this and that, we have to make sure that they are brought safely. We have to quarantine them for 21 days, 14 days, 5,000 people coming back. We have to, and the good thing about this COVID is you don't differentiate who is from poor family, rich family. Even if you are a son or daughter of minister, you still have to stay in that compartment that we have arranged for them. You have to stay together. Imagine we have to take care of all these people. We have all sorts of characters. Some people came They started asking for liquor. They started asking for whatever, cigarettes. One or two guys ran away to meet their families. So we had to cordon off the entire families. Government was paying for maintenance of this 200 rupees per day per person. It was impossible to meet. They were complaining of the food. And even the more difficult thing is this. Some people from my place, I'm sure it must be from all other states also, they will call us up saying that, sir, I don't know the name of the place where I am in. So please talk to our restaurant owners. So restaurant owner will say, oh, this is from this. We are 100 kilometers away from Chennai or Trivandrum. Hey, how did my people end up there? So I say, okay, please take a taxi and come to the train station. I'll at least get you a space in the train bogie. They'll say, we don't know how to take taxi. And these are class 5, 6 failed people. We had to arrange for their transportation, make sure that they reach safely. With limited medical facilities, we cannot only wait, when the oxygen requirements started, we had only 5 oxygen cylinders. Where did we get them from? We got them from vehicle workshops. Motors, vehicle workshops, because they use oxygen. In fact, earlier I never know that such oxygen cylinders also exist, frankly speaking. Now, from that stage of infrastructure, we had to arrange all the infrastructures required. We cannot only wait for the government to provide. So we have to start reaching out to the corporates. So by the end of this second phase, we had more than close to 150 oxygen concentrators, so many oxygen cylinders, 2 oxygen plants being set up, so many of these coordinations we did. And I'm happy to tell you that the country is doing, at least the number of deaths reduced so much because of the role played by civil servants. So irrespective of whatever people say against the civil servants, I'm telling you, we'll continue to play a good role. That much I can assure you. So coming towards the end, I want to encourage you all of this. I know not all of you will become an IAS, IPS, IRS. It's a fact. But who is stopping you? Any one of you can make it. Just give your best, irrespective of the circumstances. I really struggled hard to make it where I am. So continue to give your best and motivate yourself. The first question they're gonna ask you, the interview board, how much I scored in my interview? In fact, because of my interview marks, I'm here. My ranks, yes, maybe not that great, but for my batch, I did pretty okay. The first question they'll ask you in the interview is, why do you want to be in the IAS, right? The first 1 minute of your answer will really help you what marks you get in the interview. And interview marks is so crucial to decide your rank. I cannot tell you how to answer. It has to generate from your heart. It has to come out from yourself. The reason why I am here getting 225 on 300 in my interview, maybe because I gave a very good reply to the chairman. The chairman was Mr. Bala Guruswamy, who maintains the same hairstyle with our former president Abdul Kalam, and I heard they are also very good friends, close friends. Armstrong, you are the moment, even before I was about to take my chair, seat. Yeah, Armstrong, you're already in the IAS. Why do you want to be in the IAS? So that was the first question. You want to hear my answer? So I answered them like this. Sir, becoming an IAS for me is not only my dream. It's equally the dream of so many people who hopes to see me as an IAS officer, to be able to bring differences to them. Now, at this time itself, there are at least 2 to 3 lakh people waiting to hear the outcome of my interview. For me, becoming an IAS is not only my dream. Yes, being in the revenue service, it's sufficient for me and my family, but the opportunity that I will have to work together with the people will be little less. I just gave them an example. The entire nation is like a vehicle. IRS provides diesel and petrol fuels, they collect money, this and that. However, the IS are actually the drivers and the mechanics. You get an opportunity to work with at the top policy level, and then you get to implement with people at the grassroots level of the society. That's exactly the reason why I thought that's why the reason why I want to be in the IS. So the chairman asked me this question: how will you work for the people for your people if you are posted in Tamil Nadu, because he's from Tamil Nadu? What would you have generally answered?
They are my,
Huh?
in Tamil Nadu people are my.
So
My work would definitely inspire them also.
yeah, so the way I answered him was, the pain of poverty, hunger, and thirst does not differentiate between race and colors and sex and religion. It's equally the same, be it from Manipur or Tamil Nadu. After that, chairman stopped asking anything. I remember he was a scientist. I don't know if he's from IIT Bangalore. So I'm a physics student. So he started asking physics. First law, thermodynamics. Second law, thermodynamics. Third law, thermodynamics. Then I was able to answer this and that. So he started asking solid state physics. Then it became difficult for me, right? I don't remember everything. I stopped studying physics 5 years back. So the chairman said, it's okay, to that. So the chairman started protecting me. After the interview, he shook my hand. He said, do well, young man. He gave me a sweet. In fact, when I came out, the door was not opening, so I kicked the door open and I left. So I was quite sure that if I make it, I'm going to get 200 plus. If I don't make it, I'm going to get 70 and below. So that's how I made it. So coming back to your point, the reason that you want to be in the civil service can only be defined by you. Try to make that reason very strong. This will motivate you for the rest of your preparation. So in the end, I will let Jatin play a small video of one of the most satisfying work that I have done. You will see it, and we'll open the floor for discussion. You can switch off the lights. So in the beginning of the video, you saw children marching in mud. As a class 3 standard boy, way back in 90s, I used to do mass march on this ground. I see myself as one of those boys. I wanted to do something about this. I ran from pillar to post. The state government refused to send proposal. I stood up in the meeting and said, just give me one chance to go to Delhi, convince the secretary in Delhi to make sure that this my childhood dream becomes true. Because this was the place where I asked for the first time, when we give a salute, I asked the principal, whom are we saluting? The one hoisting the flag. The principal said, he is the district magistrate of the district who can do so many things. Since then, it got imprinted on me. I want to do something for my place. I wanted to be that DM, that person. That encouraged me. And you saw the ground, right? Happening. I went to Delhi, stood up in front of the Secretary of Minority Affairs. I showed him what I wanted to do. He approved the project. Came back, got this done in about 1.5 years' time. The ground is. Yeah. So,
Thank you so much, guys, for your patience. Thank you so much, sir, for motivating the budding civil services aspirants. So you can see sir's example as someone who's people's mobilizer. In the course of the discussion, he said a few things like we heard about PPP, public-private partnership. So here you see an apt example of public-private and people's partnership when he says that 400 crores worth of money was saved, which the government or the DM did not have in the first place. So people support. And then in the course of the discussion, he said another thing. The road got completed, or road was in the process of being done. Why so? He said that people wanted it to be done. So looking up to his example, looking at him as an idol, you can see that if people are in favor of a project, it would be done. Many a times in the interview, they ask a question that if you are constructing a road or a infra project in a tribal area and tribals do not want it to be done, what would you do? Right? Being under the pressure of the industrial groups like Vedanta or various other groups. So it becomes a difficult choice because you are facing the pressure from the the political executive that, this needs to be done. And on the other hand, there's a people's movement brewing up which does not want this to be done because it would not be in their favor, be it the coal mine projects in Jharkhand and other states. So if you are taking up a cause in whose favor people are, you would definitely be able to take it to the logical conclusion. So that is after you get into the services. If we talk about another aspect of his talk here, he in the course of the last part, he said that you should have the very strong motivation. Many a times we see in the interview guidance program as well, people struggle to find out a reason just for the sake of saying it in the interview, that why do I want to become an IAS officer? If you have that conviction, he said that you should have that very strong motivation that will take you through this journey, arduous journey, tiring journey, long drawn journey to crack this civil service examination. If you have that motivation in the initial stages of your preparation, that will propel you like anything to achieve that dream. Have your fundamentals strong. Is it because of the luxuries that you want to get into civil services? Even though sir said that during his time, ethics paper was not there. But people who are ethical, people who are going into services with a strong foundation, they do not need the ethics paper to be there in the syllabus. All I could see in his talks in the course of whatever 45 minutes to half an hour journey, a 1.5 hours journey that we saw. So ethics paper is there, but still we see that scams, a lot of scams. In Jharkhand the other day we saw that an IAS officer's chartered accountant, not herself, an IAS officer's chartered accountant is caught with around 17 crore rupees. And here is a guy who's struggling for every single penny to get the people's project completed. He did not talk about this thing in the middle. Facebook donated or contributed. Donation would not be the right word to such a noble cause. Facebook contributed 50 lakh rupees.
No. Through
This-
Facebook, collection. People donated.
All right.
Facebook did not give a
So-
single penny.
Right. Facebook did not give a single penny. Right. So capitalists would be the capitalists. Right now. So point is, thank you for correction, sir. Facebook did not contribute, right? So even if the government is not having ample resources, not giving you the budget, but if you can mobilize resources, in the course of discussion, again, sir said that it means a lot if you are a tehsildar or a SDM or a DM in the village. So being a DM amongst the people who are not so educated, it means a lot. You can persuade them. You can use your persuasive diplomatic skills to convince people to give what we call in India as the motherland. Right? अपनी जमीन को लोग surrender करने को या contribute करने को ready हैं. So this is the power of the position. The sir's talk aptly justified the title of the discussion today. Why being a civil servant matters. Few days back, I had done a small story. Sir is not knowing about that. That civil services एक ऐसा तरीका है कि आप लोगों की लाइफ में कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हो. अपनी लाइफ में जीरोस तो बढ़ते जाएंगे पीछे. 50,000 से नौकरी शुरू होगी, 5 लाख, 50 लाख तक जाएगी. As he gave the example of his American friend. So it is up to you whether you want to choose the luxury, the comfortable life for yourself or a life lived for others. I thank you so much, sir, for being here, for sparing your precious time, being in the central government and sparing your Saturday, a weekend, after a long gap when you are with your family from Northeast here. Thank you so much for sparing your time, sir. Thank you so much. Any questions? I'm sure you must be brewing with some of you have written some questions as well. So if you could spare some time for questions. Yeah, please.
Well, no pressure to ask questions, but if at all you have.
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please ask.
So, what's make a civil servant different from a bureaucrat?
What?
What makes a civil servant different from a bureaucrat?
Well, I don't know the public administration definition of what is a civil servant and a bureaucrat. I felt that it's one and the same. I don't know how people have defined it. I think Jatin should be able to better answer you.
So, even though sir is optional too.
View. And the civil servant.
See, what I can tell you from my experience is, irrespective of whether, lots of us become an IAS, lots of us become a civil servant. How do you differentiate from amongst them, amongst us who have become? I can tell you. If I give you the example of a school building, right, or of a road. In normal course, I would have said, okay, I can assure the villager, I will make sure that this village school construction proposal is sent to the government. I can make the DPR. That's what all the normal civil servant would do. What differentiates me and my other friends who are doing so many more things is that we go the extra mile, try to find some solution, and we try to give them a little solution of whatever we could. Just giving you an example, of course, this is too early. I just came back from Leh. I went and visited Pangong Lake. Okay? Of all other things that I was observing, for me, I was observing, thinking. Now that I'm in film industry, not acting, I'm in film division.
Sir is
Okay.
the Deputy Director in Ministry of Information and
Yeah.
Broadcasting.
So now I'm handling film division. So I was thinking, how can Bollywood make such a place popular from, Pangong Lake, many of us knows only as a defense sensitive place, right? Not as such as a tourist place. 2,000 people coming to Pangong Lake every day. The amount of money that is being poured in there, the local employment that is being generated. I wish so many other states invite people like Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Shahrukh Khan to come and make movies. That so that it becomes popular. That's one thing. Second thing I observed was the amount of vehicles going there. 400 plus vehicles going every day. And since it is at about 15,000 plus feet, the oxygen because of no lack of oxygen, the performance of diesel and petrol is maybe about 50%. I was thinking, how best could we employ solar powered and electric vehicles? If I were just normal, just doing my job, I could have just gone and enjoyed and come back, no thinking done, right? Now I want to write a paper on how to deploy electric vehicles, solar power station. I think it's all in the concept here, how to think differently and bring solution. So that much difference I can tell you, but the book's definition of civil servant versus bureaucrat, I don't know.
Right. Any other question? Yes.
Trade-off of choosing the service.
Yeah.
In our case studies, we often come across a lot of examples where there is a lot of political pressure to do some undue advantage or undue type of work which we are not supposed to do as a civil servant. So, does it happen with you also? Haven't happened?
Okay, so maybe I did not come to that point thinking that, this may discourage you, this and that. Okay, I have immense respect for, I don't want to name any of the seniors, but I have immense respect for them. But if you're getting into civil service, but to be transferred every 3 months, what's the point? Right? You must be reading about lots of seniors getting transferred 54 times. That means an average posting is just 3 to 6 months. One thing we have to understand, the problem all starts from people. Which state are you from? Okay, how much on average does a winning candidate in election spends? Any?
crores, 20 crores, 25 crores.
Where would they get their money from?
Generally black money.
They don't throw those money. Did they distribute to the voters or they throw it in the river? Where does that 20 crore go to? So I think the people makes them corrupt. Now when they are elected, where you think these people will not sell their house, they will not, mortgage their children, right? To get back this money. So in working with the politicians, you need to somehow see between this. You cannot say no to everything that the politician says. You have to learn how to balance. Now let me tell you this example of what I do. In my district, when I got posted, I am passionate for a few things: education, health, infrastructure. I really wanted to do a lot in education. I wanted to let all the teachers go and teach. In my first posting as an SDM, I went to a school, checked that the headmistress never comes. Okay? So I decided to write to DM about this headmistress. 1 week later, I was transferred because the headmistress was the wife of education minister. So I could not do anything there. I learned my example. I learned my mistake. So I came back to my district as a DM. So many teachers are as such not teaching. I don't know in Bihar, but in other parts of the country, teachers are a very powerful group of people. Influential in politics, trade, this and that. So okay, fine. Let me choose not to fight with them. if I start telling all the teachers to go and start teaching, next day my transfer will come.
You will be taught a lesson.
I wouldn't have been able to do this ground, I wouldn't have been able to do this road, nothing. So I decided to keep, though I'm the chairman of the district education society, I decided to, partially close my eyes, maybe not do so many things. But I decided to focus on other things that I want. That's a trade-off. Lots of people give blames. As a DM, you cannot do this for education. Okay, I listened to them. I felt pity, but I couldn't do certain things. So that's called trade-off. In civil service, since you are gonna work with a system which involves a lot of people, when you choose to swim, suppose if I was wearing a white shirt, if you choose to swim in a river which is muddy, after you cross the bank, after you cross the river, don't expect your shirt to be as white as you before you swim. But make sure that you don't get drowned in the river. You getting it?
Yes.
So I make sure that my integrity as such is not compromised to such an extent that I die with it. I want to come out victorious. There might be some stain on my blood, on my shirt, some maybe blood stain, mud stain, whatever. Maybe I may have some stain on it, but I have to come out victorious. That has always been my principle. I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Don't say in your ethics paper that I'm from Portugal. I'll be.
Right.
So
Yeah,
what
please.
are the traits and qualities according to you? According to you, the youth should develop.
The youth should develop. Well, I don't know exactly what are the best traits, but I think one thing very clear in our country amongst the youth is that sense of purpose is not there amongst the youths. They are not thinking. They are not able to sit down and think properly. They are too easily driven away by the thing that goes around them. So the thinking ability has come down amongst the youths. Has any one of you evaluated on the pros and cons of the Agnivesh scheme, which was just announced? Yes. Huh?
Yes.
I don't know those people who are burning down the trains. Are they actually thinking about it long term? I don't mean to say that this is the best policy or this is the worst policy. No, nothing like that. But what I'm saying is many of the youths are lost in their thinking ability. That's one thing. They are not able to see reasons why they are doing this. That's the thing. Secondly, I don't know why that culture of being disciplined is not there amongst the many youths in different parts of the country. I don't say that my youths are the best. No. That sense of discipline, respect towards women, respect towards our environment, sense of responsibility to the society. In Pangong Lake, I'm telling you, I was surprised to see the mentality of one lady. Okay? She was already dipping her, people play around at the shallow portion of the lake. They go there into the water. There was a plastic floating beside her. I was put in wearing shoes, so I did not want to take out. Because I had to travel further to another side of the lake. So she was playing with her kid. And I said, "Ma'am, why don't you pick up this trash?" She refused, saying that it is not done by me. As if I've done it. I just came to that lake, just got down from the vehicle just to take pictures, because Amir Khan ka kya picture hai bagal mein. Just wanted to take some pictures because for my Facebook page. I want to make, in fact, last night I was supposed to write a Facebook page. So I wanted to show that, this and that. She refused, Darren. It was just like she could have picked it up, She refused to do it. Why no sense of civic sense? So I had no choice. So my friend who came with me was wearing a chapel. So I said, buddy, you please go and pick it up. We just took it out and left it beside, near the desk. Why can't she do it? That sense of responsibility, is just not there not only among guys, even amongst the ladies. We are so disciplined when we're abroad, I'm telling you. However, when we come back, we don't care. So that is lacking in our country. So these are few things which I feel our youth should inculcate. The sense of responsibility, the sense of purpose, vision, the ability to think beyond the present circumstances should be there. Yeah.
Getting got into a lot of things that goes around, like lot of distraction. How did you make sure that you were true to self?
Yeah. So you want to talk about distractions, right? So through a lot of distractions, I went to a coaching institute in ALS. We were 250 of them. There were lots of beautiful girls. Distraction. Number two, the classes goes on from 7 o'clock till 2 o'clock. Another distraction. So boring sometimes. Number three, I'm from a poor family. Okay. There were times when my dad could not send money in time. So lots of financial difficulties. A lot of distraction. You made it later. After seeing your friends making it, and you get so disappointed. That's another distraction. In my first attempt, I thought I'm surely gonna make it because I thought the exam was really well. It went well. Whatever I was practicing, it came and I thought I have given the best examination. I missed it. Very disappointed. I went off and shaved off my hair. So, yes, distractions are there. But coming back to that point, what motivates you? I write them down on my wall. The first thing when I wake up from bed, I see the wall and say, Armstrong, you're all mistake. I see that quotation. I encourage myself. I take a word from the Bible and say that, Armstrong, you got to be you are here to bring lights to the people in the darkness, to set the prisoners free. There's a quotation from Bible. I write it down. It gives me that sense of purpose. Your sense of purpose of why you want to be in the civil service should be very well defined. You can have your own purpose. Absolutely. I keep telling people, you want to marry someone from a very well-to-do family, very beautiful girl. If that is the motivation, go ahead and make it to the service. The next day, the parents will come knocking in. Okay, no hard feelings for the ladies, but I'm just giving you for making points clear. Whatever reasons that you find, make that as your reason to get yourself motivated. And yeah, a few things. I work out in the evening. I go run to distress myself. The whole day, you get so tired. I go and run around, de-stress, sweat it out. Please do that. It's really good. You need to de-stress. That's it. And then, I don't remember watching so many movies, of course, during examination time. Maybe I don't have time. I do not have time. So, yeah, those are the few things.
Anybody else?
From your experience, you have worked these many years and you would have seen many women at many places. From your experience, what do you think women should, should come up with? What changes you want to see in the women in the community?
Those in the service.
A service outside it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think women are doing better than many guys, and there will come a time 20 years from now, men will ask for reservation. Really, because in Stephens, like in college that I studied, there was no admission for ladies till 1984. Women fought; they were admitted. When I was passing out in 2005, out of 6 hostels, only 1 was given to women. So this lady, Maya John, she stood for an election. Her manifesto was 2 more hostels for girls. We drag it out from the boys. So all the girls voted for her. She won the election. She actually got the 2 hostels. Now 3-3. Now the admission ratio is what? 60% girls. And you see in my batch, 3 toppers ladies, and this year 2 ladies topper. I think women are coming up in a big way. Yes, I'm talking about, extremes. I feel that women, yes, to a large extent, their contribution in the family we should, value that. Until unless we value that, the thought that women are not powerful enough, not economically strong, will always be there in our mindset. So this thing is there, and the biggest panacea towards women's empowerment is definitely education. This has to be. You have to find a lot of reasons why women give up studies, why girls stop coming to schools. Recently, on April 21, the initiatives that I started as a curator of the Global Savers Community won the Prime Minister's Award for Good Governance. As I go around schools and villages, I interacted with many women who are above, especially in villages who are above 40. Many of them had health issues. Came back and discussed with doctors what could be the reason. It's because of their sanitary napkins. They don't use clean clothes. So what did I do? From Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao schemes and one-stop center schemes, I got in touch with one factory that were manufacturing reusable sanitary napkins. We ordered in bulk. I let my team member go through an education module with the doctors. We distributed it wherever we go. Educate them to give them reusable sanitary napkins. This became such a huge success. It was adopted in another district. That district now won the prize. Now it is now being implemented in all the schools and in almost all the districts. So we go into that depth of what are the reasons. So I feel our women are coming up. We need to go into the roots. And the team would know the figure better. Why are there lots of agricultural loans? Loan write-off, this and that. Actually, farmers don't take loans for investing all of it into agriculture. They spend maybe almost 1/3 of it in their health problem. Because the easiest means to get loan for them is agriculture loan. खेती का काम से आता है तो they get loan. Another maybe 1/3 is spent on their daughter's marriage. Right. So I think our country should start looking at all of these issues, how to get rid of all of this dowry, these. So these are few things we need to take. Yeah, so I think we'll call it a day.
Right, sir. So one thing that you could take away from this session is the power of optimism. Not only until you get selected, but after you get selected, it's even more important to maintain that, because you guys, after getting into services, you would face a lot of obstacles every now and then. So the ability to think differently, as sir was talking about, that you have to think of the way out, be it a road project or anything related to school or mobilization of funding. So just try to inculcate that habit of being optimistic amidst adversity, whatever obstacle you are facing, just try to think of the way out and have the solid reason as to why you are preparing for civil services, why you want to get into civil services, for your own self or for the betterment of this world, or for this country, for your village, for your district, or for your native town. We thank you all for sparing your time, for waiting for too long for this session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.